Hey YouTubers, so something important, something kind of damn important, which basically is essentially I want to answer a question right now. This question I get fairly often. A lot of people ask me this question, which basically is, why don't you drive? So a lot of people say, hey, Smoking Essie, like, why don't you drive? Why don't you have your driver's license? And I've kind of answered this question before on this channel, but I'll answer it one more time. I am 30 years old, almost 31. I'll be 31 next year. I don't have a driver's license. I have a state issued ID, but I don't have a driver's license. And a lot of people say, Smoking Essie, like, why the hell is that? Like, why the hell don't you drive? And the answer is because for a lot of reasons. Number one, mostly my disabilities. Because I'm on the spectrum, I have high functioning autism. It's very hard for me to learn how to drive. I took driver's lessons years and years ago when I was like 16, 17, 18 years old. It was a huge stressor for me. I mean, it was such a pain in the ass. I mean, for a better word, it was a pain in the ass. And it was just such a huge source of stress for me, and I finally just kind of gave up on it. So I never got my license. I had my learner's permit, and eventually my learner's permit expired. That's the main reason, is because of my disabilities, and also because it's a huge source of stress. Second off is because right now in my life currently, you might be saying to yourself, well, Smoking Essie, if you don't have your driver's license, like, how the hell do you get to work? How the fuck do you get to work? Because most people need their driver's license to get to work. And the answer is, I don't need my driver's license to get to work, because where I live, I'm going to be very careful here, but I live literally, no exaggeration, about a 10-minute walk from work. So, yeah, I mean, I don't need my driver's license. See, most people need their license because most people's jobs are not like a 10-minute walk from their apartment or their house. Most people are going into the city, nice big-ass city like the Big Ass Cigar, or going into town. Their office, their job is, a long ways away, a long ass way away. And that's why most people need their license, is to get around. Also, you might be saying to yourself, well, Smoking Essie, how the hell do you do grocery shopping? Like, how the fuck do you do grocery shopping if you aren't, if you don't have your license? And the answer is, I can just, walk from the grocery store to my house, or my apartment. And also, right now, my parents are still living pretty close to where I live. I'm going to be careful here, but I mean, yeah, my parents are living pretty close to where I live, and they can give me a ride places. I have a very good relationship with my parents. I'm very lucky, very damn lucky that I have a very good relationship with my parents, and my parents are very willing to help me. So, unfortunately, some people, they don't have a good relationship with their parents, and their parents are not willing to help them, and a lot of parents are not, like, very willing to help out, and unfortunately, they end up doing a lot of stuff by themselves. But I'm very lucky, and I have a very good relationship with my parents, and my parents take me shopping, they take me to out-of-town appointments, they take me to this and that, all that kind of crap. And yeah, you can bitch at me and call me a mama's boy, you can call me a mama's boy, whatever. I don't care if you bitch at me and say you're a mama's boy. Anyway, so that's the reason why I don't need my driver's license, or nor do I have any interest in having my driver's license. And you might also be saying to yourself, well, Smoking Essie, when you go to buy, like, for example, you go to buy alcohol or tobacco, do stores give you a hard time for accepting your state issued ID as opposed to a driver's license? Because I hear in some places, some stores are kind of funny about taking other forms of ID. And the answer is, so far, knock on wood, I have only been turned down when buying alcohol once, and that was out of state. In Vermont back in 2015. I was trying to buy some beer for myself, and the guy thought my ID was expired, but it turned out my ID was valid, and he ended up obviously selling to me. Obviously, for the last damn time, back in 2015, I was 24 years old, so it's obviously perfectly legal. What he did was perfectly legal, but he thought for some reason my ID was expired. It came back as expired, and it turned out to be valid instead. And then back in 2009, it was a different story. But so far, I have not had any issues with people accepting my state issued ID. So I know some people say with the Massachusetts liquor ID card, which is the ID card that I have, some people say, well, certain bars won't take it, or certain places won't take it. I have never had that issue myself. I have yet to find a liquor store or a package store or a tobacco shop or any kind of shop in general that does not take the mass liquor ID card. There's only one place I found that doesn't take the regular mass ID card. That's actually the warehouse liquor store I go to. Not going to name the name, but so I haven't had any issues myself with people accepting my ID card. So I know some people say certain stores will only accept a driver's license, and that may be an issue for some people. It's not an issue for me. So I have never had any issues with people saying, we can't take this because this is not a driver's license. So and obviously for the last damn time I'm 30 years old. Now, having said that, I'm not somebody who does a lot of like clubbing or somebody who goes out to like these wild parties, wild clubs, these crazy, party clubs in like downtown Boston or like downtown Worcester, these crazy bars, so I'm not really sure. I mean, maybe a bar has a certain, house rule or policy on it, and I have yet to encounter it. I mean, I'm not sure. So that's the reasons why. So number one is because of my disability, and also because it's a huge source of stress driving. Number two, because I don't need my license right now. I don't need a license to get to work. I don't need a license to do my shopping or get to my doctor's appointments. And number three, because I have yet to find any place in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that has yet to reject my ID card. Because I know some people, like I said, some people have had issues with certain bars and certain package stores and certain like restaurants, turning down their liquor ID card. So, but yeah, and also in reference to that, with turning down the ID card, I'm also getting to the age. I'm getting, in my early 30s to the age where less and less people are IDing me, because there are times now I buy alcohol, I don't even get carded. So. It's not like I'm 21. It's different when you're like 21. Okay, you just turned 21 years old, and you're going out to this, crazy. Sorry, my computer just went to power saver. You're going to this crazy ass, crazy like nightclub. Then you might have some problems, because I know there are some places like Boston or like near the city that have very certain rules regarding ID cards. This kind of crap, that kind of crap, this kind of shit, this kind of shit, but I have yet to find any places like that. So, and obviously, like I said, I'm getting closer to that age where less and less people are IDing me, because people look at me and say, yeah, you obviously look over 21. We're not even going to ask for your ID because you obviously look of legal age. So, because you're supposed to card anyone who looks under 30. So, you're supposed to card anyone under the age of 30, or who appears to be younger than 30. So, I'm getting carded less and less. I almost never get carded for lottery tickets. I haven't been carded for lottery tickets for almost a year. I hardly get carded for tobacco anymore. And in terms of alcohol, occasionally I get carded for alcohol, but generally it's only when they're being careful. So obviously I'm not encouraging anybody to be not careful. I mean, obviously, whether you have a valid ID or not, you should be fucking careful, for a better word. I know I'm rambling at this point, but the point is, that's why I don't drive. Is number one, because it's a stressor. Number two, because of my disability. Number three, because I don't need to. I don't need to have a car to get to work. I don't need to have a car to get to grocery shopping. I don't need a car to go to like the mall with my friends, or go to the movies with my friends, or go to my doctor's appointment. And number four, because like I said, I have yet to find a place in Massachusetts that has turned down my ID card. They will say we can't accept this because this is not a driver's license. So anyway, that's about it. So anyway, I just wanted to ramble on about that. So anyway, pretty fucking cool. Bye.